was another interesting day with the FOMOC minutes releasing. We saw a pretty red open. I think one of the reddest opens we've had in quite a while. A lot of the FOMOC minutes are like that though, so we'll see tomorrow if it was the FOMOC minutes that was causing the red or if it's true market sentiment switching. Currently, I'm looking at after hours right now, and SPY is down 0.15. And overall, looking at tech, like Apple and stuff like that, I mean, Apple's down 0.7% right now. So pretty much it erased all day's gains just after hours right now. So tomorrow's going to be an interesting one to watch for sure. But over on the daily, this is SPY here. So a couple things we did learn today. This 426, really 425.8 became pretty big support today, so that's going to be a level to watch. And actually after hours right now is sitting right at that support, so that even tells me it's even more important support. We did test this 429.7 level. We hit 429.5 today, and we rejected pretty good there. So that's our really our third rejection at this daily breakout level here. So that's something to keep an eye on, especially tomorrow. If we were to get back to that level, that we have failed now 3 times to close over that level, and 2 of the times we have pretty much hit a wall and then rejected. I'm watching for tomorrow, mostly that if we do break out, the bear market resistance is going to be 431.3. It's going to be our key level of resistance. Support wise, we have, like I said, 425.8. So the interesting thing about 425.8 tomorrow is that is actually this 9-week long bull support line for a SPY. So if we see a close below, or we don't even have to close below it to be honest, if we just break through that, then I'm going to be getting more bearish, and I'm going to be thinking we're actually finally seeing the top. That's going to be key. I would like to see us close closer to 424.6 to really confirm it. So we have this gravestone doji right here. We really actually have 2 of them in a row. So the one thing to keep in mind is that technicals can be outweighed by volume. So lately the volume has outweighed it, and we've just seen this extreme momentum in the bullish sense of that, obviously, where all these reversals. So we saw pretty much identical. Actually, we had a big run up, and then we had 2 gravestone dojis. This one actually is one. It's just got a little bit of a fatter candle body. But back here on August 1st and 2nd, and the next day you can see we had a huge green day. So, and it kind of actually occurred again here. We had a big green day, or we had a candle, and then we had a gravestone, and then this one was more of like a dragonfly doji, but it was a doji, so back-to-back dojis, and then we had a massive move up. I believe this was, I can't remember what was happening on this day though, if that was CPI. That might have been CPI, to be honest. But either way, we had a big move up. So you've seen here now twice that this has played out, where we've had a move up and followed by 2 down days, and then we go back up the next level. So I am watching for that tomorrow to see if we're going to get a green day, which should put us about, if it is a real true green day, at 431.2 to test this. However, I'm seeing things slow. So today was interesting. We actually had extreme bear momentum almost all day long. The only time we really didn't have it was during the FOMOC minute release. But the weirdest thing about it, if I go over the 15-minute chart, so pretty much all day here we had this extreme, and even down here when we finally found support at the 424.9 level, we were still in extreme bear momentum, and which means that basically the selling pressure is higher than the buying pressure, and the volume itself was increasing for the sell side. However, from 11:45 until the FOMOC minute release, we just continued to rise. It's not very often that you see an extreme momentum scenario be inversed. So I've told you guys before, like if you look back on a day like this with the extreme bull momentum right here, you just don't fight the trend. I mean, it can rest for a second, but it just keeps going. So it was very interesting today to see that trend be broken. But then we saw it come back down here. And then even at the end of the day, though, we had more extreme bear momentum, but we weren't, and we were seeing lower volume than we had seen in the morning, but we weren't seeing the sell-off. We should have sold off down here, but this 427.2 level was just a magnet for us. So I'm going to be interested to see what happens tomorrow, to see if the sentiment is changing and if we continue to have another big red day. So I told you guys I'm not quite ready yet to be full bear to go long on some puts yet. I'm getting close. I'm getting closer every day, but I'm not ready yet. And I'll tell you guys why. So this rising wedge is number one, what we're watching. So go over to the weekly. The weekly is becoming more bearish to me, which I like. So we have this 9-week long run up here, and now we're putting in a massive hammer candle or technical gravestone doji, depending on how it finishes out. If the body comes up a little bit more, it's going to be a hammer. If the body comes down, it'll be a gravestone. But after a big run up like this, that's a reversal candle. I mean, take a look here at March 28th. This was the March rally, and we had a candle, and then basically a double top with that, and then we dumped. So that's kind of, and we had the same thing right here, the same exact setup, and we dumped. So this is what I'm watching to see play out. We still have not tested the 432 point, it's about 432.8, 432.5 weekly resistance yet for the bear market. We have rejected the weekly level at 432, but we have not actually broken through yet. So something to keep an eye on. If we start having some redness tomorrow and Friday, though, 419.8 would be pretty interesting to watch. If this weekly candle, which it technically is red now at negative 0.11, was to finish out red, and we do see a bigger close down by here, I told you last week Friday was my potential day to go long on some puts. I'm going to be getting more excited about that. This is the futures daily. So this actually looks more toppy and more resistance, like the top is in to me, than even back here. Like, I mean, looking at these days and stuff like that, I mean, this is looking more convincing. So we had this nice run up, and then we put a nice double top in here. So 43.08, that's really the big resistance that the bulls need to get through. So we've obviously 3 different times now, which is this is the same level basically on SPY that we've seen when I was talking about right here with this triple. This is basically the same. So 429.6 is essentially this 43.08 level. So we have not tested the bear market resistance still. We were close today, but we still have not actually physically touched it yet. So I'm watching overnight. Key level here is going to be 42.56. If they lose that overnight, which is about another, we're down, be about a negative 0.5% night, 0.6% night, then I'm going to be looking obviously at the overall 9-week long bull support at 42.40. If we lose 42.40 tomorrow, I'm going to be looking for some puts. I might not be ready to go long on 30 DTE puts yet, but I'll be looking for some puts intraday. Same thing for SPY. If we break over 427.2 in the morning, I'm looking for some calls. We're going to be going back up, and we're testing this for sure. If we break under 425.9, I'm getting into some puts for tomorrow. We're going to definitely see a sell-off is my anticipation. But our bear market for tomorrow is 43.30 pretty much is where we need to keep an eye on. And the futures weekly, so you can see that we're now at negative 0.3 on the weekly for futures. Again, we still didn't test the resistance at 43.40, but we are putting in a doji here. So as you can see, same thing I talked about with this doji candle right here, and pretty much a double top with the doji. If this finishes out like this, I am ready on Friday to go long on some puts, some 30 DTE puts. I'm going to be saving some BP on Friday for sure to get into some puts. So then we got Apple. Apple's kind of the problem child, to be completely honest. However, there's one interesting thing about Apple. So Apple today was up. At one point, I think Apple was up like 1%, and SPY was down like 1%. That's a pretty big divergence. The stock was not diverged though, so which means basically like they're oversold and overboughtness was equivalent based on volume and whatnot. but the actual movements were very inverse of each other. So we did see Apple come up here today and poke through its bear market resistance at that 147.5 level. That was a big deal. So I was actually getting a lot more bullish at the end of the day because of that when I saw Apple break through that. However, we did see a pretty aggressive retracement off of that, and you can see we actually closed the daily candle below the 174.5 resistance. I mean, we closed at 174.55, but give it air, obviously. And we closed below the bear market resistance. So overall, to me, that's pretty bearish. The fact that it couldn't close over the resistance. And the other interesting thing is 30-day average volume, Apple put in 116% of that today. So it hit about almost 80 mil on volume, which is 30-day average is only 68 mil. 68.5 mil, and really Apple's only been putting in, if we open up some volume here, I mean, you can see this is the biggest volume day that Apple has had since August 3rd. So that's a pretty big deal. So to me, what that is that's a big volume rejection. That means it hit a level that more sellers came in than buyers. So it had a good buyer momentum. So actually, this is really, 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 really important for tomorrow. If we can maintain under 174.5, which after hours it's closed down on TradingView, it doesn't show it, but it was down like 0.7%, like I said earlier. If we can resist here and definitely put in a true double top, or if we just open like with a decent gap down and we just start going through supports, that is even more of a sign that the top is in. So key support for tomorrow is going to be 173.2. From there, this first resistance line, this black dotted one, which is a little bit more of an aggressive one. So this is the one that started on July 26th. Support tomorrow is going to be 172.1. So if by chance we have a pretty red day tomorrow, so 172.1, it's about a 250, about 240 of a sell-off. So it'd be about a 1.2% negative red day. If we can break through 172.1 tomorrow, then I'm getting even more closer to going long on some puts. But definitely if we open and we break through 173.3 tomorrow, I'm going to be looking for some puts on SPY, just because I know Apple's going to bring us down. The other thing that's interesting, and I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see it on yours, on the side here, but all the other techs was red today. So, I mean, Microsoft was red, Amazon, Tesla, Google, Facebook, Nvidia, all of them are red today. Oil was red today too. It was green for a while though, but Apple was the lone green person today. So that's kind of something to keep in mind too, is that there was obviously a lot more buying on Apple today than its counterparts, and the counterparts that make up the rest of the market did not join in the party. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow if we can get a true red day, but I think we're getting closer and closer and closer to the top. So here's Apple's weekly. You can see we did poke through. We're forming a candle just like here and just like here. I think we're going to start seeing a retracement, and I'm hoping we can get down to 172 on that retracement, which will make me think even more that the top is in, especially if we can close below 172 on the weekly, so that'd be in 2 days. So the VIX. The VIX is putting in some pretty heavy support right here. So this is the 6th day of trading where we have closed either at or just above this 19.7 level. The only other time we've had that much trading around this is the same thing in April or March, April, when we had that top put in. We had a similar sort of trading range right here. And then it was the same thing back in January before the top was put in. We had a lot of levels of trading, and then it took off. So I think we're getting close. I would like to see this resistance line broken first. I'm hoping it happens either tomorrow or Friday, though, so I can feel more confident in my position and that it's not just a fake breakdown or just finally a little rest period before they take the next leg up. But I'm going to be looking tomorrow If we can have an equally big day as we have had on the VIX, I mean, we could see a break of 20.8, which would put us through this resistance line. And if they can close us around 21.2, then I'm getting closer. I might even consider going in on puts tomorrow afternoon if we can close up to here. I might want to wait till Friday. The only reason I want to wait till Friday is just because of monthly OPEX. That could just gonna be a goofy day with all the extra volume that'll come in from people taking profits and people repositioning and rolling puts and things like that. When there's a lot of puts in the money, it should cause a pretty big rally when people take profits, because obviously like the market makers have to cover that side and stuff like that, and they can even cause a pretty big gamma rally. But there's a lot of worthless puts. So people are either going to obviously take whatever profits they have, which still can cause or like, you know, cover their losses basically. They could still see a rally, and there are a lot of calls upside that are pretty much looking good right now and obviously are in the money. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on Friday with that. I do need to do maybe a little bit more back testing on that if I have some time tonight or tomorrow. I'll try to do that, look and see what the last couple monthly OPEXs did movement-wise. But that's my biggest reason I want to wait till Friday. But I also don't want to be early on this, just because we're getting close. But as you see, like right here, we kind of got excited about the same thing. It wasn't as big of a level, besides the 100 EMA was a big deal. But it's the same thing here around the 50 EMA. Like we got excited because we broke it and then we retraced, but then it just rocketed still. So every time it seems like we're getting excited, especially here, we rejected the 200 EMA. We hit the level resistance. This was a good spot for us to reject. We consolidated. This should have been the breakdown, but then obviously CPI came in and took us to the next level. So it's just something to keep in mind. I'm not quite ready yet. The other thing I want to throw in here, I can't talk about on Reddit because I'll get my post removed because I hate crypto, is Bitcoin. So I've always watched Bitcoin. I've been watching Bitcoin longer than I've been watching SPY. I used to trade it all the time. But Bitcoin has a way of predicting what's coming next in the markets. So I was watching back in November when Bitcoin started its big crash and predicted that, and that we were going to be down here in the 20s and things like that. It's all on Webull if you don't believe me. But either way, every time Bitcoin has started its next leg down is when SPY has started its next leg down. So you can see obviously back here in June when we had our big dump, look at that crypto too. And then you have back here in May when we had our dump crypto. And then you can probably go back here and look at that December, big dump. And then here's our March top, dump. So what I'm seeing right now, and I'll zoom out so you can see a little bit here, is Bitcoin, I'll say crypto because Bitcoin covers the whole market basically. We're in this massive falling wedge right now. We rejected breaking out of the wedge pretty much. And right now, what I'm seeing is that since July, so that's over a month now, we have been trending on this same support line. We've even bounced off it 3 different times, almost 4 right here on August 16th. However, today was the first time in over a month that we have broken this support line. So I think crypto is starting its next leg down with a price target of about 18 to 19 for Bitcoin, below 20 for sure. So I'm keeping an eye on this. If we see it pop back up, especially if it gets back to like 23.5 and gets over that, definitely 24, then I might think it was just a fake breakdown and it's just finding a new support. But watching Bitcoin right now, I have a feeling that we're getting really, really close to the top. Bitcoin is usually like a day or two ahead, I feel like, mostly because of the weekend trading and things like that. But the reason it matters is because a lot of like these hedge funds and stuff like that, they have a lot of interest in Bitcoin and it's a speculative stock. So when they're ready for the next leg down, usually you see this stuff start dumping first because people are trying to get out of their fund money or whatever. So keeping a close eye on Bitcoin, especially if we break actual 23K. We got pretty close today at 23.17. That's a big deal. So I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to redraw this support line over here to kind of see what happens based off this and where this trends us. So Yeah, about 21K is pretty much what we're looking at. But overall, we'll see what happens. I'll put the new support line right here. See if this daily candle tonight can hold it. But something to keep in mind. So this all just plays into the narrative that come Friday, it's going to be pretty much time to get in some puts. For me, if VIX is over 21, closer to 22 preferably. If Apple is like in the 160s, low 170s, I'd like to see it. I mean, it's going to be tough to do it. It'd have to go here and then probably here. So it'll be close. If it's going to be able to break through this support line right here by Friday, that'd be a pretty big red days. I mean, that's a $6 drop. That'd be like, be like a 3% drop. So I mean, it's not impossible because I mean, obviously we had a 4% day right here. So, but I'd like to see Apple in the 160s. I would like to see SPY through this support line, and definitely like in the high 420s, even the 419s by Friday. And then I will be looking for some 30 DTE at the money puts that I will pretty much I'll have a small position size, probably like half my normal position size. I'm going to open them and I'm just going to let them go. If they go worthless, they go worthless. But the goal is going to be to open them, and obviously this is going to see a big dump. So just kind of see what happens. But tomorrow's another day, more information. Looking to see if we can have a back-to-back big red days. I mean, we just finished off 5 green days in a row. And this is the biggest red day that we've had since, since July 26th. So be interesting to see if we can get another big one to back it up. We don't really have too many big red days in a row lately. So a lot of green days in a row, obviously, but not a lot of red. So, all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll have a little bit more information. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you like the video, go ahead and like and follow me just to support the page. I provided my Discord link here. This is the lifetime link, so sometimes there's issues with this. If you have any issues, just go ahead and send me a message and I'll get you a temporary link that'll work. Some benefits of the Discord is I do a pre-market update with some key support and resistance levels to watch. Throughout the day, I'm on there doing live commentary on SPY and the general market with updates about key levels that are broken. I also do live trade alerts. Currently, it's $20 per month or $228 for the year. If you want to follow me, I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit under Daddy Dersh. Thank you.